Welcome, electronic video guests, to the outer limits of the trading card hobby TTM. Through the mail, we seek to have the famous and the infamous sign the trading cards and photographs we send to them through the mail. Today we have 8 such specimens to examine. 8 trading card autograph request return specimens to examine. We will be examining these in minute detail. So if you like seeing envelopes being cut open, you've come to the right place. Sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy the fun. Presented to you from the worldwide YouTube video airfill. Now we've got us a TTM Wednesday. What is this, Wednesday? The day after the 4th of July holiday. Everybody's hungover, gotta go back to work or start whatever business they do, or panhandling on the street or whatever. Back to the grind of daily life. Hopefully you didn't get shot over the holiday weekend. If you did get shot and you're watching this, obviously you survived, so that's a good thing. Look on the bright side, you survived, so God is outstanding. A survivor ready to go and watching some TTM videos to cheer you up. And we got one in here I think is going to be something special. Where is that in the stack? Look at where this one's from. Try to figure out who that is. All right, I know who that is, but that's going to be a special TTM International return. Let's get started on our TTM Wednesday. TTM number 1. Coming to us from Knoxville, Tennessee. Down there in Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's see who we got from the great state of Tennessee. Down there in Knoxville. That is a sweet place. They love them some volunteers down there in Knoxville. They wear all that orange stuff. Beautiful. Look what we got from Knoxville. We got Tim Irwin. Outstanding. Look at that beautiful card. That is beautifully signed by Mr. Irwin, too. Looks great. That came out sweet. A 1990 score. Signed by Tim Irwin, now 64 years old. All SEC offensive tackle in 1980 at Tennessee. Check that out. Look at that beautiful old scorecard, too. You gotta love those 90 scores. They got a nice picture on the back also and all the info. Tim Irwin, all SEC tackle at Tennessee. 3rd round pick by the Vikings in 1981. Played 14 years. A solid tackle. He never made the Pro Bowl, but hey, he played 14 years in the NFL. He earned a law degree and after his playing days eventually became a juvenile court judge in Knox County, Tennessee. Tim Irwin, thank you, sir. Really appreciate you signing that old scorecard. That is a beauty. Great way to begin with Tim Irwin. All right, let's go on to TTM number 2. This one's coming to us all the way from Buffalo, New York. What do we got from Buffalo, New York? Let's see what we got from Buffalo, New York. TTM Wednesday. Oh, look at that. I've been waiting a long time for this. Almost forgot about that. Beautiful. Look at that. 2003 rookie card. Beautiful. Look at that. That is a sweet looking card, isn't it? That 2003 score rookie card. Signed by the great old quarterback from the Miami Hurricanes, Ken Dorsey, 41 years old. Right now, he's the offensive coordinator for the Bills. Probably get a head coaching job soon. Beautiful college quarterback that led the Hurricanes to the national championship in 2001. He had the Hurricanes on a 34-game win streak, headed for a second straight national title before that infamous pass interference penalty on 4th down and overtime allowed Ohio State to steal that title from Miami. All-American in 2002, 7th-round pick by the 49ers in 2003. Played 4 years in the NFL, started 13 games. His record in those games as a starter, 2 wins and 11 losses, 8 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Just didn't have the arm strength to be successful in pro ball. Great college quarterback, though, and he's doing a great job in his coaching career in the NFL. Like I said, he's the offensive coordinator for the Bills, and you see his name on those list of possible head coaching material. So thank you, Mr. Ken Dorsey. Really appreciate you signing that 2003 score rookie card. That came out beautiful, didn't it? Check that out. There's his old stats from Miami. Look at that. Beautiful. Ken Dorsey, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. That's a couple good ones to get started. Now, this one here, if you remember, you can see who this one's coming from. In our last video, we had one from one of the better names in baseball, Mr. Dick Billings. This one you can see we have coming from Mr. Dick Lines. So we had Dick Billings, now we got Dick Lines. And I tell you, I think probably you can, Dick Billings would be a little, you can make some, Dick Billings you can make some nice little jokes about, but Dick Lines is just kind of a sad name, I think, to be called Dick Lines. But hey, let's see if Mr. Lines signed that card. Beautiful. Look at that. Dick Lines. Beautiful. Look at that sweet card. That's a 1968 card signed by the very memorably named Dick Lines. Check that out. Look at that sweet old card. That is a beautiful card. Dick Lines is now what? How old is he? 85 years old. Can you believe that? He's lived with that name for a long time. Dick Lines. Let's see. Relief pitcher. He was born in Montreal, raised in the USA. He didn't make his big league debut until he was almost 28 years old. He pitched 2 decent seasons of relief with the Senators, with 7 wins, 7 losses, 6 saves, and a 2.83 earned run average. Dick Lines, thank you, sir, for signing that Topps card. Look at that sweet old card. Let me see if he answers some questions on that note. Yeah, Dick Billings, you could make some little humorous little jokes about. Dick Lines is just that's kind of like panty lines or something like that. There's not much you could to do with that. All right, I asked Mr. Lines because his manager there with the Senators was Gil Hodges. Did you like playing for Gil Hodges? Absolutely. Any favorite teammates on those old Senators teams? Frank Howard, Big Hondo, Frank Howard, Ed Brinkman, the shortstop, Casey Cox. Beautiful. He says, stay safe. Dick Lines. Thank you, sir. That is outstanding. I appreciate you answering those questions, sending that card back so beautifully signed. Check that out one more time. Look at that. That is sweet, isn't it? 1968 Topps card, signed by 85-year-old Dick Lines. Beautiful. All right, let's keep going. We're doing great on these TTMs. This one here is coming to us from North Texas, Dallas. That feels a little thick. Is there 2 cards in there? Or is there a price list or something? I don't know. Let's open it up and see. Feels a little bit thick. Or maybe it's somebody I sent 2 cards to. Oh, yeah, there's the note. And it looks like there is 2 cards in there. Is there? No, just one. That note is extra thick. Oh, he signed the folded trifold. Mr. Ron Brandt. Look at that. Another 1968 Topps card. Beautiful. Look at that. 83 years old. Check out the back of that Topps card. That is sweet. Backup catcher for 8 years. Lifetime batting average 239. He only had 3 career home runs. He went the last 6 years of his big league career without hitting a home run. Ron Brandt, backup catcher. Check that out. He signed that very nicely. That looks really good, doesn't it? All right. He looks like he really put some info on this note I sent. Oh, he actually, it's not my note. He sent a letter. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let me see. Is there anything like your first data thrill? Because I asked him about his hitting a home run. What did he? It's hard to read this writing. Bob Gibson was a great pitcher, but I went 7 for 22 off him and only struck out once. I had double that ended up being the game winner in '69 as well. Best pitcher I ever faced was Sandy Koufax. Oh, yeah. I got to see this part here. Yeah, let me show you this part. If you look at the back of his card here, in what does that say? In 1959, he played for Roswell, New Mexico in the minor league. See that? 1959. He had 317. He had a good year. Roswell. So I asked him when he was down there at Roswell, did you know anything about the UFO crash or run into anybody there who saw the aliens or anything? He says, I never even heard about the UFO in Roswell when I was there. All right. Thanks again for bringing back some fun memories. Regards, Ron Brandt. Very good, Mr. Brandt. Nobody was talking about that UFO when Ron Brandt was there. And what year was that again? 1959. Maybe the whole thing was like a setup years after the fact. You would think in 1959 there were a lot of people still alive who would have seen that thing. They would have wanted to talk to Ron Brandt. Maybe some young ladies trying to get a future husband and say, hey, Ron, come over here. Let me tell you about the UFO. But no, nobody mentioned it to Ron Brandt. Thank you, Mr. Brandt. I really appreciate that. And that is a nice letter you sent back. Fella's 83 years old. He took the time to handwrite a letter. Explained to me about Roswell. Really appreciate that. All right, these are some of the best returns we've had in a long, long time. Let's keep going. Our next one's coming to us from Dahmer City, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Home of the world's greatest chocolate factory worker, or at least the most famous. I don't know how good his chocolate was, but he's the most famous chocolate factory worker. Dahmer City, what do we got? I got our note back. Oh, look at that. Jerry Kenny. That's a great signature on that 1973 Topps card. That looks fantastic. Oh, Jerry's now 78 years old. One of the many feeble hitting utility players. He could play infield and outfield, played parts of 6 seasons, almost all of them with the Yankees, had 1,353 career at-bats with the Yankees, 16 with the Indians. He's on this Indians card, only 16 at-bats to Cleveland. Lifetime batting average, .237, 7 home runs, 59 stolen bases. He hit 193 and 404 at-bats with the Yankees in 1970. Jerry Kenny, look at that old card. Jerry is a speedy base runner. Very nice. That's Gerald T. Kenny. Thank you, Mr. Kenny. Let me see if he answered any questions on the note. We're doing pretty good with these notes. No, he just sent it back, all the questions unanswered. Well, that's okay. At least we got the card. That's the main thing. Look at that. We got us an autographed Jerry Kenny card. Now, here's the one. Look at this. Are you kidding me? From France. Look at that. I know who this is. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be our first, if it's signed, hopefully it came all the way back from France signed. If this is signed, this is our first male soccer player. Now, there's not too, I don't follow soccer that closely, so there's not too many French soccer players I know. Probably that holds true for a lot of you guys. I'll let you know right now, it's not Mbappe, unfortunately. I don't have an address for Mbappe, but this fella here is very, very close to Mbappe as far as stature, I do believe, at least reputation-wise. I think, I'm not an expert, but I think this guy's one of the greats of French soccer. Maybe one of you people know a little bit, maybe undrafted player. The Frenchman can tell me just how highly regarded, how high up there is this guy? Is he considered a Hall of Famer? Do they even have a soccer Hall of Fame? I don't know, but I think he's one of the greats. Check that beautiful, sweet card. Look at that. I tell you, these soccer cards are gorgeous. Why don't, when Topps gets football back, I hope they make some cards that look like this. These soccer cards blow everything else out of the water. That is a sweet-looking card. You see that? Antoine Griezmann. I believe he's one of the France greats. Like I said, I only usually watch soccer during the World Cup. And in the last two World Cups, this guy's been Mbappe and then this guy. They won the cup, 2 times ago, and last time finished second. A great final match against Argentina. This guy seemed like a great player. They talk about him like he's one of the all-time greats. 32 years old. I really enjoyed watching this guy play in the World Cups. A magician with the ball. Fantastic passes. Can score some goals, too. I did a bit of research. He's the number 3 all-time scorer for the French national team. He must be one of their all-time greats. And very interesting little trivia note, or whatever you want to call it. His sister was a survivor of that horrible terror attack in 2015 at the Eagles of Death metal concert at that Bataclan Theater in Paris, where 90 people was killed. His sister was at that. Luckily, she survived. But Antoine Griezmann, I believe this guy's a French soccer legend. Is he one of the all-time greats of French soccer? I believe he is. I don't think he's up there with Zinedine Zidane, but maybe was he on Michel Platini level? Those are the other French guys I know. Somebody let me know, undrafted player, Frenchman, if you know, is he one of the all-time greats of French soccer? He's certainly good enough to star on them France teams in the last 2 World Cups. He's certainly a highly regarded player, I know that. My first male soccer player. Look at that sweet signature, too. Antoine Griezmann, a beautiful. That's what we call a Topps Merlin soccer card. Those cards are gorgeous, aren't they? And why can't they do baseball? I hope they do football cards like that when they get football back. Way better looking than the baseball and football cards. Love it. Thank you, Mr. Griezmann. That's one of my favorite returns. A legend of soccer, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Antoine Griezmann, look at that. That is a sweet return. All right, we got a couple left. This next one here is coming to us from the great Phony X, Arizona, out in the desert. What do we got from the desert? Phony X. Oh, very nice. Mr. Jim Schellenbach. He just barely got his name squeezed in there. Just had enough room to fit that whole name in there. Jim Schellenbach. Beautiful. 79 years old, 1974 Topps card. Look at that sweet old card. Jim throws a palm ball. Beautiful. Look at that card. Starter and reliever, pitched 9 years, 6 with Texas, 3 with Pittsburgh. Career record, 16 wins, 30 losses, 3.81 ERA, 2 saves, and 2 shutouts, which, as you should know by now, ties him on the all-time shutout leaders list with the great Hall of Famer Jacob deGrom. But Jim has 8 career complete games, and deGrom only has 4. Jim Schellenbach. Look at that sweet old card. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. That is a nice return to get from that great old reliever. All right. What do we got? Our last one on a TTM Wednesday. Our last one's coming to us. Macon, Georgia. Let's see what we got from Macon, Georgia. Macon, Georgia. What do we got from Macon, Georgia? 2 sweet cards. It's 2. You know what? I only sent this guy 1. Alton Montgomery. I sent him the 1990. I sent him this 1990 score rookie card, and looked like he included a bonus card. What is this? A Pacific card? I haven't seen too many of these Pacific cards. Look at that. What year is that? Let me see if I can figure out what year that is. What year is this? Is this a rookie card too? I think this is a 91. Yeah, 1991. But look at that. He sent me a free 1991 Pacific card. Both cards beautifully signed. Look at that. Alton Montgomery, 55 years old. Second round pick by Denver out of the University of Houston in 1990. Was a backup safety and kick returner for 6 years in the NFL. Played for the Broncos and Falcons. For his career, he had 3 interceptions. One of them a pick 6 off the old Lions quarterback Scott Mitchell. He also had 3 sacks. Mr. Alton Montgomery, I thank you, sir, for signing this 1990 score rookie card and sending along this beautiful bonus card. I haven't seen too many Pacific cards. 1991 Pacific card. Look at those sweet cards. Look at that. Alton Montgomery, thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. What a fantastic TTM Wednesday we had after the holiday. My favorite card was this one. First male soccer player legend out of France, Antoine Griezmann. Beautiful. Thank you, sir. All right, that's it. We'll be back in a couple of days. I think we might give away some cards in a couple of days. Maybe we'll do some TTMs. Who knows? God willing, we'll be back in a couple of days with another video. Anyway, until then, remember, get on over to Amazon.com. Type in this author's name here. That's your narrator. Type in that book title also into the search field at Amazon. This book will pop up. I'll tell you what, if you like reading high-quality literary fiction, thought-provoking, it's a real page-turner. You'd like this book. It's for people who kind of scrape by in the world, live paycheck to paycheck. This is not for the 1% or the 0.01%. They wouldn't have a clue as to what this thing is about. This is for people that are tossed into the world out of the blackness of the cosmic void, thrown into this world without a clue, herded from birth into a so-called way of life. It says it's all about going to school till you're 18 or 22 years old so you can work for a living to buy stuff you really don't need, but distracts you from having a larger worldview. You live like the robot they want you to, but from time to time you malfunctioned, you did some things you shouldn't have done or weren't proud of, or things happened to you to make you feel bitter and resentful and hopeless. But one lucky day, that behind all that, open your eyes. Told you you've been sold a bill of goods. There's a different way to live. But now what do? If you're interested in that type of thing, this book is for you. But if you're easily offended or just want to pretend the world's way is the right way and things will get better if you're a crybaby, this book isn't for you. If you're a big boy or a big girl or a big train and you can think for yourself, you just might like that book. All right, that is it. Like I said, God willing, we'll be back in a couple of days with some other type of video. I don't know what. Until then, remember, Enjoy the rest of your life.